And this is This Week in Vegas.
The Ninth Island Connection podcast.
This Week in Vegas brings you everything going on in Vegas this week. We're not that creative, guys. It's very simple. Here you're going to learn about everything going on this week. We're talking weather, events, sports, concerts, announcements, scaffolding, flying through windows in casino properties, everything you need to know about. That really did happen. We're going to get to that.
All right, and let's get to it then. All right, so some unfortunate visitors had an unexpected guest to their room. A piece of construction equipment came crashing through their window. Craziness.
And that was at Planet Hollywood. You guys, if you haven't already seen it, it's all over social media. I've seen it on TikTok. I've seen it on Instagram. It's everywhere. It really did happen. And that sucks. And I have to say, that's not Planet Hollywood's fault.
Yeah, no.
It was like super crazy windy in Vegas.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, we've spent so much time in hotel rooms, and of course nothing like that's ever happened to us, thank goodness. But it looked like they were filming it, like they were just filming their room, and it happened at that time. So thankfully they were like in bed, or I can't imagine getting woken up in the middle of the night to like something crashing through your window. How terrifying.
Yeah.
But hopefully they were comped and got some.
Well, it didn't seem like anybody was hurt physically.
No injuries were reported.
A little bit of PTSD and a little trauma.
Yeah, I would hope that they at least comped in their room and maybe some free drinks to just ease their nerves after that.
Free drinks.
Yikes. All right, moving on. The true identity of Miss Atomic Bomb. This is Lee Merlin was her stage name, but that was not her real name. She kind of disappeared. She was a famous showgirl, kind of the poster for...
She was a socialite in town. She was like all these parties and stuff throughout town.
Yeah, and she was kind of like Miss Atomic Bomb. She was, if you're familiar with the picture of the woman with like the atomic bomb cloud swimsuit, she was kind of like the face of when they were setting off atomic bombs in the desert, which that happened, and they used to have viewing parties actually at Atomic Liquors in downtown Las Vegas, which would have been really cool to kind of see one of those.
Of course that happens in Vegas, though. I mean, they're testing them out in the desert, and Vegas will find any reason to throw a party.
That is true.
I tell you what.
That is true.
And they had parties. They would gather on the rooftop there at Atomic Liquors. I'm sure the music was playing. Miss Atomic Bomb was there doing her thing, and the drinks were flowing, and they just turn a party into it. I'm
sure. But Lee is not Lee. It's actually Anna Lee Mahoney, and she is from the Bronx in New York. Did you know her?
We run across each other on the train every once in a while.
Maybe a little before your time. You're slightly younger than that.
A little bit.
Not much.
Not much. But...
All right, next up in news.
The autonomous, and it's not a mispronunciation of autonomous, Autonomous Hotel. That's going to be the name of it. It's scheduled to open this summer. They spent over $160 million on this thing. 300 suites. It says all suites. So I can only imagine like Rio, that everything has a little, every room has a little kitchenette, big living room area. That's what I imagine when they say all suite. Or like the Venetian rooms have the sunken living room. So it's supposed to be really nice. This is going to open up this summer. This is going to be the first true AI powered. Now, it doesn't mean there's all robots there.
Thank goodness, that would be so creepy.
It's not going to be like Tipsy Robot from the Miracle Mile shops.
Or the creepy robots from the Sphere.
Or the Sphere robots. There are going to be humans there, but it's going to be AI powered, AI generated, which means there's not going to be a lot of staff.
Yeah, very high tech. And this is going to be just off of the strip, a few miles off of the strip on Russell Road.
I'm saying about 4 miles, depending on where you are on the strip. Obviously, the strip from Mandalay to the Strat is about 3 miles.
Yeah.
So it's about 4 miles on the Russell side. Russell is going to be on the south.
Yeah.
Closer to Mandalay Bay side of the strip.
Yeah, I think they said it's about 7 minutes from Allegiant Stadium. So if you're coming in town for a game or an event at Allegiant Stadium, it might be a great place to stay at. Get you off of the crazy strip, but still close enough to take a Lyft or Uber in to the event.
Yeah, it'd probably be great for families also, being that it's all suite. You could save a little bit of money having a full kitchen there too.
Or groups.
Yeah.
All right, moving on in the news. We just had a record-breaking sale for the median price of a home in Southern Nevada. So Southern Nevada, we think of Las Vegas, but that also includes Henderson and other little bordering cities, neighborhoods as well. That's all Southern Nevada. So the house sold for $485,000. That's the median price of a home. And that was in January. Now, back in May of 2022, they actually set a record then. So now we've broken that record, which means that that's not great for those of us living or those of you who want to buy in Vegas because, you know, it's not cheap. It's not cheap housing like the old days.
That's rapid growth.
Yeah.
Comparatively, though, it's still lower than I think anywhere that we've ever lived.
Well, any other big cities, especially. Yeah. Actually, in 2018, when we first moved to Vegas, they were like, I want to say in like the 200s was the
250 to 350-ish.
Yeah.
Depending on where you were.
Yeah, so it's really jumped up.
Yeah, median price. And of course, there's lower. We're not real estate experts. We're not trying to sell a service or anything. Of course, you're going to find lower and higher. Median just means that's the average, right? You guys know that already.
Yeah.
But that's a very high average.
Yeah, and like Sebastian said, we are not real estate experts, but we do happen to know a real estate expert. That's Randy Hatada of Expand Realty, and he owns a large real estate company on the 9th Island here in Vegas and helps people with relocation. And he also does a podcast on his YouTube channel, Expand Realty. So if you're interested in more information on Vegas real estate, check him out. That's your guy. Again, we're just sharing this information.
This is not paid. Randy's not paying us. Nobody's paying for this right here. He's our guy. And you ask pretty much anybody that has moved from Hawaii to Vegas, Randy's your guy. I mean, he's just been here forever helping people move from Vegas or from Hawaii to Vegas. So that's why we're plugging him. Just a really good guy.
Yeah.
There's a brand new conservatory display over there at Bellagio on the world famous Las Vegas Strip. I love to talk about this place because that's one of the few free, family-friendly things that you can do here in Vegas.
It's friendly for any age, though. I mean, it's awesome. It's just, it's incredible. It's like one of those things that we always tell people. If you're coming to Vegas, you only have a couple days, things you have to see, Bellagio Conservatory is always on that list.
Yes. So now their new theme for spring is birds and bees.
That's cute.
I feel like that's too easy to be in Vegas though.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more than that. And talking about like pollination and all of that stuff there.
Or it could like be like the start of your conversation with your young children, you know. You're gonna have those conversations.
When a bird and a bee love each other.
I don't think that's how it goes.
It doesn't go that way?
I don't think so.
Well, you know, it's been a while.
Anyway, back to Bellagio Conservatory.
It's absolutely perfect. This is something that's definitely worth popping in for. It's 24/7, so it's really on your schedule. Whenever you have a chance to just pop through, it's going to be there. It's open. Now, between, I want to say around 2, in our experience, between around 2 and like 9 p.m. seems to be when it's at its busiest.
Yeah.
That's after lunch and after dinner, before shows. I feel like early morning when you're just grabbing a cup of coffee, or late night coming back through on the tram, it's really not as busy, and you get to catch it in two different versions of it, because you've got the sun, natural light version of it, and then the nighttime version of it, which is a different experience altogether. It's really cool to see it both ways.
Yeah. All right. And now we've got some show announcements that are coming this year into Vegas. We've got Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. They are having the last encores.
So that means there was a final and then an encore, and now it's the last encore.
Yeah, so this, I mean, they're kind of getting up there, so maybe this really is the last encores. So
I hope so.
Yeah, so they're going to be over at Westgate. They're going to be there April 25th and 26th, as well as October 24th and 25th, and tickets are on sale now for that show if you're interested. When I think of Frankie Valli, I think of the Jersey Boys, because that's what the Jersey Boys is based on, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And I just love that, and I'm so sad that that left Vegas, because that was such a great show. Yeah. And it left twice. We had it at Paris, and the Curse of the Paris Theater, it was gone. And then it was over at the Orleans for just a hot minute, and gone.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that we talk about in Vegas. The competition for entertainment is massive. And the smaller shows, which Jersey Boys would be considered a smaller show, it was off strip at the Orleans, not center. It's not at the Coliseum, it's Caesar's Palace. There's a lot of competition.
There is. There's, I mean, all of the small shows are like, think of them as a small business, right? And then they're competing for people to come see them. And then you have, you know, sprinkle in now, you know, we didn't have this, you know, a decade ago, but now we have all the sporting events. We have all the residencies from larger performances, all the stuff happening at the Sphere. And I mean, it's really hard to compete and hard to keep up. So definitely, if you're in Vegas, put those small shows on your list. They're not that expensive in terms of Vegas prices for entertainment, and they're so worth it.
And I feel like the smaller shows, we're small business owners ourselves, right? So I always root for small businesses. They have to work so much harder to sell that ticket because they don't have the name recognition of a Frankie Valli, of a Garth Brooks. Just throw his poster up on the outside of Caesars and people will come and buy tickets. Like, they really spend a lot of time marketing themselves, putting on a great show. You know, and I'm just using this as an example, the Garth Brooks of the world, they can perform a couple times a week and they will sell out.
Yeah, because people are traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys like Purple Rain, for example, Marriage Can't Be Murder, Carrot Top even, they're working 6-7 days a week, sometimes 2 shows a night to succeed here in Vegas. The competition is tough. And if a show is not on your list, when you've thought about it, maybe you thought I can't afford it, do a little bit of research. You can find ticket prices in the high teens to like the 50s, depending on the seat and the show, depending on the time of day. Your matinees are gonna be less expensive than evening shows.
And Groupon. Groupon always has a lot of like deals on Vegas shows. Yeah. All right, moving on. We've got Babyface is coming to the Palms.
That's one that just throw your name up on a poster on the side of the building. People are gonna buy tickets.
Yeah, May 10th, May 9th and 10th. Babyface will be over at the Palms.
Counting Crows are doing a complete suites tour. Maybe a couple songs from Counting Crows. I don't know what the complete suite tour is. They were very successful during their time. Obviously, they still have recognition. They're going to be at Planet Hollywood on the 9th of August, but tickets are on sale now.
I'm excited about this one. Hairball, which is a hair band rock tribute band that I want to say they started in Minnesota because that's why I'm familiar with them. I mean, we're talking like early 2000s. They were, you know, performing in Duluth, where we lived at the time where I grew up.
Street Days.
They were, West Duluth Street Dance. They also would come to Mr. D's in Duluth.
Mr. D's had the best wing deal in town.
They did. But we loved Hairball, and I'm like super excited because they did get really big and they perform a lot and they do travel now and tour, and they're coming to Vegas, of course, to the Fremont Street Experience, which is a perfect fit for Hairball to be.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm excited for that. I'm putting that on our calendar. We're going to have to go check out Hairball down on the Fremont Street Experience, and that is going to be on April 5th. And that's a free concert. Like all concerts are down, or I shouldn't say all, but the majority. It's just like New Year's. Yeah, New Year's. I think New Year's. And maybe Labor Day or something.
There's only, I think, 2 times per year. There's not more than 2 times per year that they actually charge.
Yeah, but I mean, you can, but they always have all their concerts listed on the Fremont Experience website.
Yep.
So you can keep up to date on that as well by just checking out their website. But Hairball is added to our list, so mark your calendar.
I'm there. So we've got some sports news. If you guys haven't seen it already, Riley Smith, who's one of the original Misfits. The Misfits was the first class of the Vegas Golden Knights. They were called the Misfits because they were kind of everybody in the NHL's like spare change.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what it was. Not meaning that they weren't good players, but there was just not room for them on rosters across the NHL. They wound up in Vegas, and they've won a Stanley Cup already. So Riley Smith, who was one of the originals and actually won a Stanley Cup with the Golden Knights, has been re-signed and is back in Vegas.
Yep, we're excited about that. Welcome back, Riley. All right, last but not least, we're gonna get into some jackpots that have been happening here in Vegas. Of course, the cow. The cow seems to be, I don't know if it's because they share so much or if they happen so much or both, but the cow is giving away some money this week. Over $63,000 to somebody playing poker, and then just under $63,000 to somebody who had 5 aces on Pai Gow. I feel like we've been hearing a lot of 5 aces on Pai Gow.
Yeah.
So let's hope that theme continues for the next time you play Pai Gow.
Yes.
We would like that.
5 aces. But to get that progressive bonus for the 5 aces, so you're going to get a bonus jackpot for 5 aces. You have to play that progressive extra side bet to get the progressive bonus bet. That's where that $63,000 came from for the 5 aces.
So always play the bonus.
Always play the bonus. Always play that bonus because you never know.
Yeah. All right, this one is not as big because 2 people actually had to split one jackpot. We talked a little bit a couple weeks ago about the Super Bingo happening over at the Plaza, and 2 people got bingo at the exact same time. And so that $50,000 jackpot, they ended up having to split it, $25,000 each. But I mean, I wouldn't complain.
I would have no complaints
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
If I had to split $50,000 with one other person.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the worst day of my life.
Exactly.
I promise you that.
Exactly. I'd totally be okay with that. But congratulations to those winners. I hope that, one day we can talk about our own big jackpot. That'd be really cool.
We're manifesting a lot of bingo here. We're manifesting a lot of Pai Gow. So you guys just put it behind us.
All right, guys, here's what you can expect for weather this week in Vegas. We've talked about March weather. Like it's all over the place. I mean, you can have 50s, you can have 60s, you can have 70s, rare occasions, and even it'll get up into almost the 80s.
Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of rain, you're going to have some wind, you're going to have some dust, some clouds.
Yeah, it's kind of like you never know. You never know what'll happen in March weather.
It's a fruitcake.
Yeah.
March weather is a fruitcake. It's just everything is thrown in that bowl.
Okay.
Every bite is different. Can we make that work, please? It really is all over the place. Like even in 1 week, this week coming up is going to be kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's a little bit of, we started in the 60s, we got 70s. Of course, it always cools down at least 20 to 30 degrees at night. So you can totally expect that you're going to be hitting at least the 40s in the evenings, so bring those jackets with you.
Yes. All right, guys, let's get into the events. And obviously, you guys all know the biggest thing happening this week in Vegas is St. Paddy's Day celebration all over town. You've got something happening down at the Link Promenade. Everybody's got something going on for St. Patrick's Day. It's just a big thing going on. Drink specials, food specials. Some people dress up, but it's not as much as downtown. Downtown Fremont Street experience, that's really where St. Patrick's Day just explodes in Vegas.
Yeah, they do it all weekend long. So even on Sunday, and then of course Monday for St. Patrick's Day.
There's no such thing as Sunday or a Monday. It's just light again.
Yeah.
I feel like Vegas is like, there's no days. It's just like, it's light and then it's dark. It's light again, it's dark. And then you just keep on moving.
Well, for St. Patrick's Day for sure. That might work that way for some people. They might not. Depending on how much green beer they're drinking over the weekend. You never know. But yeah, the big St. Patty's will be down on Fremont Street experience. And we said this in our last podcast, if you don't like crowds, stay away because it is busy down there. It's crazy all day long. Like early, it's St. Patrick's Day, so people get up and start drinking.
Yes.
Which makes for some good people watching.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. The other thing going on is March Mania. There's tons of watch parties, and you can expect the sports bars, the sports books to all be full. Some of those places will have require reservations or even have cover charges for viewing parties depending on what's going on. Of course, like different casino properties kind of up the ante with those. So like Fontainebleau is doing a watch party in their theater, their Blue Live Theater, which has an 80-foot screen. So that's a nice size screen to be watching the game. And those packages include all you can eat. They include an open bar, VIP seating is available. So I don't know how much they are. You have to check that out on their website.
Well, because the prices vary so greatly across the Vegas Valley for these watch parties.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking anywhere from about $50 a person to $200 plus.
Yeah, it depends.
Per person.
I'm guessing when they're offering food and alcohol, it's probably going to be a little bit more.
It depends on the beer, though, because if you have like tater tots, corn dogs, and all you could drink Busch Light, it's probably not going to be $200 a person. You're going to be closer to about $5.
We're talking Fountain Blue though. I don't think Fountain Blue's doing
Maybe
corn
they
dogs
have
and
levels.
tots.
Maybe they have different levels.
I don't think so. Anyway, it's going to be on March 20th through the 22nd. Caesars Properties are also going to be getting in on this action. They have their hoops on the strip across various venues throughout their properties on the strip, and that happens March 16th through April 7th. And it just kind of varies of when the games are happening and stuff, but they'll have different drink specials, different packages, and different events happening. So check out Caesars Rewards website for more information on all the Caesars related March Mania. I thought it was March Madness, but now it's March Mania. I don't know. The March basketball, if you like college basketball stuff, check it out.
So heading downtown, the Plaza is doing 2 drink tickets, unlimited draft beer. They're going to have raffles, they're going to have games, and they've got a 24-foot LED video wall down there at the Plaza. The Circa, which I've talked about it before, it's a sports book with a casino hotel wrapped around it. Stadium Swim is no different. Derek Stevens did an amazing job. That's a sports paradise down there.
For sure.
So you know they're going to do it big in downtown. So Circa over at Stadium Swim from March 19th through April 7th, they're going to be having various watch parties. Check out their website for information because there's going to be cabana pricing, there's going to be drink pricing, something different is going to be happening there. And then at the ballroom within Circa, the 20th through the 23rd, they're hosting a different event. And then of course, over at the Sportsbook, they're going to be doing different things. So that's 3 different events happening at one property. So hit up their website for more information on exactly what's happening at each of those on the various days.
All right, getting into the rest of the events happening this week in Vegas, we've got Bryan Adams coming to the Wynn. He'll actually be there throughout the weekend, but this week, the 16th.
And then you've got Maroon 5 over at Dolby Live on the 19th, the 21st, and 22nd.
And then you've got Will Smith coming to the House of Blues on the 20th.
Not sure what he's going to be doing.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone will slap him.
Too
soon?
I just don't know what is he going to be doing. Like, what is he doing?
I think he has a new song out, so I would assume music.
I mean, not for me, not my cup of tea, but whatever. Dead and Company over at the Sphere, the 20th through the 22nd.
And then we have Danzig at Virgin Las Vegas on the 21st.
Dokken with George Lynch over at Golden Nugget on the 21st.
And the All American Rejects are going to be over at Virgin Las Vegas on March 22nd.
Paul Ogata is going to be over at Brad Garrett's, that's over at MGM Grand, and that's going to be the 17th through the 20th.
And Nate Bargatze is going to be at the Wynn on the 19th, the 21st, and the 22nd. He is here a lot.
And he seems like he's really funny. I've seen a couple clips of his on social media. I know their promotion, but he's on my list. Like, I like what I've seen. And I think comedy is always much funnier when it's live and you're in the crowd.
And have a few drinks.
And have a couple cocktails. Now, if I'm drinking water over breakfast and I'm laughing at some of his stand-up, I'm sure that in Vegas, seeing him live would be a great time.
Yep.
Chelsea Handler over at Cosmopolitan on the 21st.
And Bert Kreischer is going to be over at Resorts World Las Vegas on the 21st and the 22nd.
And then we've got David Spade and Nikki Glazer, who seem like they're here quite a bit, and they're typically always at this same venue. They're going to be back at the Venetian on the 21st and 22nd.
And then there's Brian Callen. He's going to be over at Wise Guys Las Vegas on the 21st and the 22nd.
And that's off strip.
Yeah,
Wise Guys.
that is on the strip, but down the strip. That's at town square. So
Okay,
on Las Vegas Boulevard, but
just
not
outside
walkable.
of the corridor.
Yeah, not really walkable.
Okay.
Closer to like Mandalay Bay, but I still wouldn't walk from Mandalay Bay. Yeah.
And then we've got the Vegas Golden Knights at home hosting the Bruins on the 20th and the Red Wings on the 22nd. Put that on your list, even if you're not going to the game. We are not sponsored by VGK, but we do have some spots available if you're interested and you're watching. It's such a great experience to just get down there about an hour before puck drop, and you can catch all of the pregame celebration. The weather should be nice. There's stuff happening out there at Beer House. There's a parade or a procession with the band and cheerleaders kind of leading the way into T-Mobile Arena. So again, even if you're not going to the game, go check that out. It's such a cool experience and it's absolutely free. Take a break from the casino, do something outside.
So of course, that is in addition to all of the regular shows. And make sure if you're coming to an event this week in Vegas, just stay on top of that event, check into the policies for the venue and the artist so you know what you can bring inside, and always just make sure that it's actually still happening, because things do get canceled here and it's unfortunate, but it happens. So just keep up to date on whatever event you're planning to attend.
And have a backup plan. Have a plan B, because if something does get canceled and that's like what you came to town for, you might feel a little bit stuck. But Vegas is a great place, I think, to get stuck with just like, I've got a free day with nothing planned.
Right, and speaking of free, there's a lot of free entertainment. We did mention earlier the Bellagio Conservatory, of course, but there's also a lot of free music, especially as the weather warms up. There's concerts happening down on Fremont Street Experience. Sometimes Container Park downtown has different music happening on their weekends as well. Carnival Court on the Strip.
No cover charge. It's all free. That's all free entertainment.
Yeah, and even like indoor free music, like we love the piano bar at Harrah's. And of course, they're not sponsoring this. This is just based on our opinion.
Nobody pays us for YouTube.
Yeah, for this.
But again, we are taking applications.
Anyways, we love the piano bar at Harrah's. If you're familiar with our YouTube channel, we talk about it a lot. But it's just great because there's free entertainment. They have something for everyone. They have the Motown guys who are they're really great. They're usually there in the afternoons, a few days during the week. They have of course, karaoke, which is crazy to watch. I mean, you love people watching. People watch drunk people watching karaoke. Like that's that's entertaining in itself. And then, of course, the dueling pianos at night. That's so much fun to watch. And then, of course, our favorite, Big Elvis. That is a fun show. If you've never checked that out, I believe he's there. What is it? Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Yep.
Yeah, a couple shows.
He's got social media that has kind of his schedule and that stuff too.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Big Elvis, he is an Elvis impersonator.
A big Elvis impersonator.
And he's very big. He's a big guy.
Yep.
And so he is Big Elvis, and he performs, of course, Elvis songs, but other songs of that time. Right there in the piano bar, and he always brings in a crowd, so definitely want to get there early. And he's just such a nice guy. He will hang out in between shows, meet people, take pictures. Just really nice guy.
Really nice, humble guy.
Yeah. So if you're at Harrah's or near Harrah's on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's the afternoon. I think he's like a 1 o'clock or 1:30 and like a 3 and maybe a 5 or something like that. But just kind of like that midday show. If you're looking for something just chill to do, taking a break from gambling, things like that, or just something to do before you are heading to a show later that evening or to dinner, that's a great thing to add to your list.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on this one. As always, we appreciate you guys so much. And if you're not already, hit us up on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're everywhere. We're Ninth Island Connection. And if you're looking for even more Vegas, which you watch this all the way to the end, you probably want to see more Vegas, right? Stay right here on Hey Vegas. There's an episode of Ninth Island Connection, our television show,